Alrighty. Hi, my collective. Today, I want to talk about spiritual warfare. And I truly want to touch on this topic because I don't think people truly grasp this concept. Because it's so easy to get swept up in chaos and trauma and distractions. And I'm going to keep it a buck with you guys. Like, I'm still fighting it too. Like, we're all fighting and we're all in the midst of it, but people don't really realize because they're so caught up in their own personal hell that they don't realize that they're not really fighting against a person. They're fighting against different spirits and entities, and it's not we're not fighting against flesh and blood. We're fighting against spirits, right? And what people don't realize is that every time you have like a certain thought or a negative thought, that spirit attaches itself to you because you essentially open yourself up to be a target. And the devil attacks us through relationships, and it clouds our judgment through past wounds, past traumas that we experience. And recently, for me, I was really going through it. I'm gonna be real honest with you guys. Like, I was going through it, and like a past wound, my past mother wound came up, and I'm like feeling like my mom doesn't love me, and I'm like, bro, like, why am I here again? And it's really one of those things that I really want my collective to understand the importance of communicating your feelings, because when we go back to past behaviors, like where we make assumptions and we just kind of sit in there and we spew in it, it makes us a target for spiritual warfare. It makes us a target for negative entities to attach to us and allow us to believe that we are not worthy of love. So whenever you find yourself out of alignment with unconditional love, stop, pause, cleanse your energy, clean your space, and communicate whatever feelings that come up. Stop silencing yourself because you think that nobody wants to hear you, or you're not worthy of communicating your feelings. Because when we communicate our feelings, we can really get to see if that person is truly acting like that, or if we're viewing them through the lens of past trauma. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, like, I'm really working on that, like, feeling, like, not feeling, but like, I'm really working on knowing that I am loved, if that makes sense, because I spent my entire life going through that trauma and not feeling like anybody was there to support me. And now that I do have support, it's like the old me wants to look through the lens of past trauma, and it's like I'm fighting against myself, I'm fighting against all these other entities, and it's just like, that's not me anymore. I don't want to be in that frequency. So you really have to catch yourself. And one thing about, like, truly walking the path of, like, bettering yourself, spiritual transformation, it's not and there's no end goal. There's no like, I'm enlightened and I'm at peace. Yes, you are at peace, right? Inner peace, because you've like worked through those demons, but that doesn't mean that there won't be another challenge that you didn't see in yourself that comes up. So learning to deal with these challenges in healthy ways instead of going back to your old ways and how you used to deal with stuff, right? It's very important that we can be honest with ourselves when we are going down that path, because if we can't be honest with ourselves, then that ego illusion will keep us in that frequency of lack or not feeling like we are loved or worthy of love. It's so easy to get caught up back in that, especially when we get our heart broken, or we feel like we put something into somebody else and they didn't reciprocate that type of love. It's so easy for us to revert back to how we felt, in terms of like saying, you know what, like, this is why I can't make friends, or this is why I'm not ever going to be in a relationship because nobody loved me, yada 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 yada, whatever stories we tell ourselves, right? So it's very important that we stick to our practices every day. Like, don't miss a day of meditation, don't miss a day of prayer. And I think meditation and prayer is very important, because you can ask for things, but you have to be able to listen to the advice that our inner guidance, our inner compass is giving us, because like, our higher self knows when we're being under some type of like negative energy. Like, they know, and it's just like they're trying to lead you down the path of like figuring this out. But we can be so stubborn and resisting against like good or like love, because we've lived our entire life in fear, and for some reason like love feels scary because we're not used to it, right? So the ego is like, freaking out, what do you mean you love me? It's like when you get into a good relationship, but if you don't feel like you're worthy of it, you subconsciously sabotage it, right? So it's the same thing. It's really just a discipline. It's a practice. And I don't want anybody to think that like it's all peace and love on this walk, because it's not. If it was, everybody would do it. Everybody would be getting up and fighting against those demons. And it's a daily thing. It's not just like okay, like now you're done. Like, sometimes you can have a week go by and you're like completely in bliss, living your best life, and then boom, the devil try to send somebody to knock you off your path, and it may shake you up a little bit, but you know what, you always get back up. Don't you dare give up. You've come this far. And It's not going to be easy. If walking with God was easy, then everybody would pick up the call. Everybody would choose to do it. And it takes real strength to be able to do it. And so I want to stop and send my collective love, because you are strong. And if you're seeing this video, you are a warrior, okay? Don't let nothing, no negative energy stay on you. And I really want you guys to really grasp this concept, because you may be thinking it's me against Emily, but the whole time it's like Emily got demons on her back, that you're fighting her demons, right? So that's why it's important for us to not always engage in bullshit, right? You know when to stand up for yourself, and that is you setting healthy boundaries, but know when to not engage, because when you're engaging, you're really just, you're lowering your frequency to meet them where they're at. And remember, they're fighting their own demons. So it's like, you want to be right so bad, or do you want to be at peace? So it's really important that you take yourself out of negative situations or negative things that don't feel good, or remove yourself from people that don't feel good, because you're choosing your peace. You're telling the universe that I'd rather be at peace than engage in bullshit. You can't fight everybody's demons. And that's why I'm telling you guys, it's not just against this person, that person, this person, that person. You figure out your own bullshit, right? And then you stay away from other people's bullshit, because you have to realize that they're fighting their own demons. But do not allow their demons to hop on your back. You've spent your entire life clearing that shit off, and it's really just one of those things that you have to consciously choose love, consciously choose happiness. Like, you got to really see them for what they are and what they're going through, because when you look at somebody and you say, yo, they're going through trauma, right? And I'm not saying that you didn't go through trauma, but they're choosing to stay in that trauma because they don't have the strength to pull themselves out of it, but you do. So if you're consciously aware that this person's fighting demons, then don't go in the pit to fight it with them. Choose yourself. And it's really just important, and this is why it comes back down to stop trying to save everybody, and that God complex that a lot of healers have, because they just want the whole world to be a better place. And I'm not saying that you can't have that, but you have to really use your discernment. Are you going to run yourself, break the brakes off yourself trying to save somebody, or are you going to make sure that you're okay? Because if you're going to break the brakes off yourself trying to save somebody, you will always feel tired, depleted, and drained, because there's so many demons walking this planet. So how are you going to fight every single one? If God could do that, he would have did it already at a snap of his fingers, right? But he's making sure that you're doing it in a healthy, strategic way. And people don't realize that, like, you could really be all right, and then sometimes you have conversation with certain people, you hang around certain people, and you pick up that energy. That's why it's very important for you to let God choose who you are in a relationship with. Let the universe choose who you are in a relationship with. And this means platonically or romantically, because they know what will be good for your energy. But if you decide that you're going to go out there and do the choosing now you got another lesson to learn, because you don't even know what kind of energies that person got on their back. And this is real. Like, this is a lesson that God really, like, had to show me. Like, let me show you who is for you. I think about this with my romantic partner, how I was going out there choosing all these different people, and I was really taking on their own trauma, their own demons. And then when you have sex with people, you're taking on all their demons, all their shit, all their you guys are exchanging DNA. Their trauma becomes your trauma, your shit that you got to heal from. But if you allow God and the universe, whatever you believe in, to choose those partners for you, you eliminate all that extra fighting that you got to do. This is why surrendering is so important. And it's like, even when you go out and you say, oh my God, I want this person to be my friend, and God's like, okay, here we go again, gotta watch her deal with this crap again for the umpteenth time. It's very important that we surrender, because God knows what's best for us. God knows what will be in alignment for us, right? And trusting in God to provide us with the connections that we need. And I know, like, sometimes you can feel lonely, so you slip up and you choose certain things, but that is when we get ourselves in trouble, because God sees all types. God sees all. He sees everything. He knows what's in that person's heart. And you have to realize that there's a lot of wolves in sheep clothing. Sheeps in wolf clothing. You know the saying. There's a lot of people masking, and some people do it well. Like, as somebody who I feel like I'm very intuitive and I can see through people bullshit, sometimes I get caught too. And that's why it's important that you let God choose. You let God choose, and you stop trying to fight everybody else's battle. You're gonna be tired. Spiritual warfare don't mean like you go out there and you're just like slaying demons with a sword. No, it means you stay in alignment with unconditional love for yourself, and you see that person for where they are, and you allow them to be there. But you don't lower your frequency to meet them where they're at. right? It's like when somebody says something hurtful to you, and then you say something hurtful back, and you're just like, you don't feel any better. You don't feel any better. It doesn't make you feel any better. It makes you feel disgusting, like you're on the level as they are, because you've lowered your frequency. But I'm like, guys, I really just have to come on here and say that, because for me, like, I realized these past few days, like, I allowed my past self to really take over. And the devil knows where we are weak. So if we open him up, like, this is why it's also important to not share what's going on in your family, or any type of beef that you're having with your mom or your sister or your cousin, because the devil will use people to aid you on into believing that you are not loved and you are not supported. Especially if they're not spiritually awakened. Anybody can be used as a vessel. Anybody can be used as a vessel in a negative way and in a good way. Same way how I'm allowing spirit to channel messages through me, you can allow the devil can just use anybody. Be like, oh well, it's almost like when you tell, for example, you say you and your boyfriend, and you're having some type of problems, and you tell your friend, and she's like, well, I wouldn't take that level of disrespect if I was you. That is them aiding on the situation, when you could have just gone to your boyfriend, talk about what's going on, and keep it between you. Keep it between y'all. Okay? That's how you leak your business out. And the devil's like, oh, somebody's over here struggling. Let me send this spirit over here to disrupt them. And your friend, it's not even their fault, because they're also dealing with their own spirits of, like, jealousy, the spirit of rejection, all of these things. So it's just like, you really truly have to allow God to choose your partners. And there's this prayer that I always do for every single one of my relationships. I say, God, if this person's for me, show me. If they're not, remove them from my life. Show me if this person is meant to be in my life or not. And God always removes, and he always reveals. He lifts the blinders off your eyes, because we could be so caught up in the what we want that person to be, or the expectation of that person, that we don't even realize that this person may be draining our energy, sucking our life force, trying to destiny swap with you. That shit is real. People don't realize that shit is real. Even when you think about certain celebrities, how they be hanging around certain people, and then all of a sudden they got the spotlight that the person had before. Now that person is a nobody. Be careful who you let around you. It's very important. Be careful who you let into your home. Yes, you're a good person, but if you letting everybody in your home, you letting every entity in your home. And this is why you always fighting demons, because you letting the demons walk right in. It's very important that you let God choose who is supposed to be around you in your energy. But if you're continuing to stay with the people that you don't feel good around, that's you telling God that I don't trust you. And it's really important that we surrender and truly allow God to just choose who gets to come into our lives. The minute I let go, I'm telling you guys, I don't want for nothing. I don't want for nothing. And I'm really just letting God align me with my soul family, align me with the people that are meant to be in my life, and that will love me for who I am and accept me for who I am, and not just take from me. Like, I feel like I put my heart through so much in these past couple years, and if I'm being honest with you guys, I'm tired. Like, I'm really tired of the getting stomped on, moonwalked on, because if we're being real, like, when you have a kind heart and you out here trying to give it to everybody, you've been stomped on. Let's be real, you've been stomped on. But I'm here to tell you that, like, if you surrender and allow God to choose your partners for you, and do that prayer that I say, ask God to reveal. God will show you. God will let you know. But the thing is, when God lets you know, you really have to let it go, because I know it's going to be painful, because you've formed some type of attachment to this person or expectation to this person. But God sees all, and they know that if you continue down this path, it would be your downfall. Some relationships, like, not just romantic or platonic, who you hang around can either be your winning season or your losing season. And it's really, that's why it's very important who you let around you. You can't just be around everybody energy. If you hanging around a whole bunch of people who drink and smoke, you gonna drink and smoke. If you're hanging around people who live in the victim mentality and woe is me, if your friend is always woe is me, they sucking your life force. You gonna be a woe is me. You gonna see your life through the victim mentality. If you hanging around somebody that reminds you of your past trauma, you're going to always be living your past trauma. So it's very important for you to choose. Choose wisely. Choose wisely. And don't choose based off of your ego. Let God choose. Let the universe choose. Let the star choose. Whatever the hell you believe in. Your higher power. Let them choose who is meant for you. So those are the messages I truly have for you guys today. And I really just I'm humbled. I'm sad, and I really am allowing my heart to heal from all the things that I put myself through unnecessarily. And I don't want you guys to beat yourself up. It's always just goes back to love and compassion for yourself, because when you find yourself straying off the path, it's really just being compassionate with yourself and saying, you know what, I know you're scared, but we got this. Get back up, baby. Dust yourself off. You always dust yourself off and get back up, because the thing is, when you walk with God, you got to be strong. You got to be strong, because the enemy will send any and everybody. And next thing you know, certain people in your relationship start switching up. They find another demon. The devil just put another demon on their back to come at you, to come for you. Don't engage in the bullshit. The devil wants you to believe that you're not supported, that you're alone, and that you're not worthy of love. You stay in that alignment with love. You go back to God. You pray. You pray. You pray. You pray. If you're not feeling like yourself, you pray. You pray. You pray. You pray. God, show me what I need right now. Please help me. Whatever. You call upon God for that assistance, because everything is free will. So if you're telling yourself that you got it, God's like, okay, she got it. They got it. So don't be afraid to use that resource, meditation and prayer. Listen after you pray, because God will give you the answers. And believe yourself, trust in yourself. Like, if you feel funny around certain energies, it's on you to protect yourself. God can't come down and be like, oh, stand back, stay away from this one. God can't do that. If he could, he would have been doing that. He would have been doing that. So it's very important that you realize that. And I want you guys to really realize that a lot of the shit that you've been through, it's because the enemy knew that you were a chosen one. The enemy knew that you were God's vessel, that you would become the person that changed so many lives that they had to send attack after attack after attack after attack. But when you walk with God, you're going to be under attack. I'm going to be honest with you. So it's very important for you to realize when you're out of alignment with your own energy, when you're not feeling right, cleanse your energy, pray. Protect your energy every day. Especially when you're doing this type of work, like spiritual work, you got to protect your energy right now. And I'm like, I pray every time before I even start a video for protection, because energy transfer through videos is real too. People could just send you evil eye. So protect your energy. It's very important. But yeah, stay safe out here, guys. I love you guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Share this with somebody that may need to hear it, because spiritual warfare is real. Okay, I love you guys. Bye bye.